transcending history and the world, a tale of souls and swords, eternally retold.
What is up, everybody? I hope you're having a good day and that my content makes your day better any way possible. So I have a lot to talk about with Legacy of Kain Ascendance, and I want you to know if this game is worth buying, and to the best of my ability, I will not sugarcoat you with anything in the game. You will hear my dead honest thoughts about this game. I know there's probably YouTubers saying this game is great, this game is awesome, please buy it. Well, I have no friendship, no relationship with any developers or companies. If you want an unfiltered perspective of this game, you've come to the right place, as we have all been skeptical from the start. So without further ado, let us get started. So there is no secret, but the story is a game adaptation of the comic novel, The Dead Shall Rise. Most fans' biggest fears have come to life. You start the game as a Lilith, going after Seraphim Raziel, whereas in the comic, the story started off with Vampire Raziel and his brothers. Before Lilith stormed the place to confront Raziel, Lilith has a lot of dialogues with Kai, who acts like a story guidance for Lilith, also being the one to help out Lilith with her negotiation with Kain and her offers to Kain at the pillar. I'll say I actually like Kai as a character. I think he's an interesting character, being half human, half Hilden, with his human half trapped in the demon realm. Lilith at the end of chapter 1 has a boss fight with Seraphim Raziel. He then realizes it's his sister. He has a change of motives. And now this is where things get completely pathetic. Chapter 2, Seraphim Raziel and his brothers are traveling to reach Janos. Zephon says for Nosgoth, and what does Raziel say? Take a listen.
In the aftermath, homes left empty, blood scrawled across walls. They say he drains not just the body, but also the spirit.
Then we'd best make certain his foul soul goes no further than the end of our swords. Do you truly believe this will end it? The plague, the bloodline, all of it?
Malik says this devil's death is the key. His death will break their hold on this world.
Then let's see this done. For the Circle. For the souls he's stolen. For Nosgoth!
For a Lilith! For the people of Nosgoth!
For the glory of the Seraphim!
For the sister who was stolen from me!
Yep, we're just gonna squeeze her right in, huh? And now Raziel will have concerned dialogues for Lilith, who completely despises him and wants revenge on him, whining and crying to him 24/7. And through Seraphim Raziel and Janos' dialogue, Seraphim Raziel finds out the blue creature is himself, or at least shares the same name as him, whereas in their meeting in Soul Reaver 2, Seraphim Raziel never gave any implications that he was aware who the blue creature was, and during the Seraphim brother dialogue, Raziel does not forget to include Lilith. They made sure to include Lilith in everything.
Oh! Save myself! It is you who needs saving, vampire.
I was not speaking to you, Inquisitor. The Raziel I know is no longer with us.
That creature shares my name? How ironic. One Raziel leads us to you, the other Raziel ensures your end.
Did I forget to mention that Lilith loves to cut off right hands? So if you use your right hand to do your daily workout, well, Sucks to be you. I am glad that I am left-handed, so I am safe, but no, this is her way of delivering her message in blood to Raziel, and all of this angry revenge plot from a Lilith is from Raziel killing her lover Matthias, who was infected and turning, which is why Raziel did it anyways. Matthias has such little screen time for the audience to even care about him. This is all why Lilith revenge feels weak. Then pestering Raziel about every little thing that happens. Even when he lost his memories as a vampire, she tries so hard to make Raziel feel guilty and feel sorry for herself, only for Raziel to hit her with good points of calling her out for her sins. What's so disappointing about Lilith is that this was their chance to make her a better character, and she is just as annoying as she was in the comics. Now, if you didn't play the game, you might be wondering, why am I talking about Lilith so much? Well, that's because like 80% of this game involves Lilith, which became insufferable. This was truly painful to play through, and this story was a complete disaster. I know we've seen all this in the comic, but to see it in the game is really tough.
I have come seeking a favor.
A favor? How tedious. You tread dangerous ground with your presumption.
Not presumption, Lord Kain. Desperation.
What is the source of this desperation?
A desire to right a wrong.
I also really hated when Lilith met Kain at the Pillars. Ariel did a pillar quiz for Lilith, which I thought was pretty cool, actually. But I got very annoyed how Ariel tried to twist up the story of Kain murdering the Guardians, saying things like, Kain took Nupraptor's head without hesitation, quick to kill as always. You ordered him to do that, Ariel. Ariel would continuously villainize Kain for killing the Guardians when she literally set out Kain on an entire quest to kill all Guardians, then left out the fact that he'll have to end himself. I love Ariel as a character, but this made her seem extremely hypocritical, but I still understand her grief way more than I do Lilith.
This one, she trembles the very marrow of Nosgoth. Child all emerge from their mother's womb carrying the twin scents of promise and failure. It is not often long before one odor predominates. You remain indeterminate, and this has intrigued me. So let us test the weight of your purpose. Let us play a game, you and I. Each of these pillars once bore a guardian, until the circle was shattered. Answer my riddles, and with each truth, I shall tell you what became of them.
Play her game. See where it leads. I'll remain close should the need arise.
Odd. Another voice speaks through your talisman, yet I hear only the echo, not the words. If we are to proceed, it must fall silent.
I understand. Be still, Kai. I'll call for you when this is done.
As you will. Good luck, Lady of Thornlatch.
The first to fall is love defiled, logic forsaken in fury wild. Where thought is weapon and madness reigns, what pillar bears the mentalist's chains? Nupraptor, my beloved, guardian of the mind pillar. When I was slain, grief shattered his mind, and madness followed. At the first hint of gain, Kain took Nupraptor's head without hesitation, quick to kill, as always. The mentalist was the first to fall, and he did not fall alone. She tore the veil twixt realms unseen, let demons walk where men had been, where space distorts and forms betray. What pillar warps the world this way? Azimuth, guardian of dimension, she opened the veil and welcomed demons into Nosgoth's heart. Kain chose her as his serpentine blade's first taste. One merciless strike, nothing more. To him, her death was merely a step on his path. A knight in chains, his oath betrayed, in fire and steel his penance paid. Where battle burns and peace must bend, what pillar wills the war to end? Malak the Damned, once the guardian of conflict, bound by oath and fire, cursed by Mortanius for an ancient failure. Now his soul is chained to his armor, enslaved for eternity. He wore the wild, a beast in thought. By root and flame his power wrought. Where verdant life and death entwine, what pillar binds this worldly line? Bane, guardian of nature, a force of wilderness and fury. Twisted by Naprapta's insanity, he became something monstrous. Kain called Bane like a rabid beast, as though death were his cure for everything. The mirror cracked, yet none could see the binding thread of destiny. Undying choice, immortal shame. Which pillar holds the world in frame? Balance, my own pillar, my purpose. Stolen from me the moment Mobius set his plan in motion, and Kain refused the sacrifice. He was offered a choice. One life for all of Nosgoth. Kain chose himself. She burned with light no flesh could keep, a waking storm that would not sleep, where power coils and sparks take form. With Jewel, she was ill-suited for the burden she bore. Corrupted like the rest, then struck down by Kain, of course. He never considered what it meant to slay, only that it was necessary to his mission. He spoke of fate with serpent tongue, a future sold, a past undone, where ages twist and truths are lies. Each pillar breaks what never dies. Mobius, the time streamer, a deceiver always. He betrayed the circle, but believed he was serving a greater purpose. And Kain? He danced to Mobius's tune, then killed him for the melody. Time has a cruel sense of irony. He shaped the world with fevered hand, where stone could melt and air could stand. Sculpt the water to look like men, before this fire makes it flow again. Anacroth, the alchemist, he twisted the elements to his will, sculpting matter as though he were a god. but even gods fall. He raised the lifeless, yet could not rest, a soul enslaved to within its flesh, where endings feed what lies beneath, which Mortanius, my murderer, and yet not my true enemy. He bore the pillar of death, and in time, death consumed him. He raised Kain, gave him purpose, and set this entire tragedy in motion. And Kain, ungrateful to the last, repaid him with a blade. The cycle ends where it began, in blood and betrayal.
And Kain only gets like a few chapters out of this entire game, so that's a letdown. Majority of his actions, of course, ties to Alalith. He raises the main Seraphan commanders because Alalith convinced him to. Raziel shows his wings to Kain because Alalith told him to. Raziel gets his wings because of Alalith holding the amulet with the magic. And Raziel knows his past life because of Alalith. And Alalith is so amazing that she defines the laws of what creates a paradox in the Legacy of Kain universe. Although paradoxes in Legacy of Kain are hard to define, but what we have known is paradoxes will be made when two of the same incarnations of the Reaver Blade in the same time and room making contact, like in Blood Omen 1, Kain and William the Just wielding two incarnations of the Reaver Blade clashing. So Reaver 2 Wraith Raziel encounters with the Reaver Blade that has his own very soul in it, causing a paradox. But no, Alalith doesn't need that at all. She herself can cause a paradox by being stabbed by the Reaver Blade, in which she suddenly has a connection to the Reaver Blade. Isn't Alalith so cool? Oh, and look, they call Blood Omen 2 Seraphan Neo Seraphan. Holy crap. I have a video calling them Neo Seraphan. Did they by chance watch my video? Because I don't know anyone else that was referring them to Neo Seraphan. People would just call them Blood Omen 2 Seraphan. I just call them that because they're reborn. That's crazy. Could that be a coincidence? By the way, you guys, please watch that video if you have not. Listen, this story is just not good. This is not a good choice of continuation for the series. I feared for a long time now that they clearly want this to be what goes forward, and I just think this is a downfall for Legacy of Kain. If they continue the story path, this feels like a mediocre fan fiction, and really this whole game feels like a mediocre fan made. I never want to hear people talk about Blood Omen 2's retcons when Ascendance and The Dead Shall Rise are filled to the brim with retcons. Let us get to the visuals. Oh man. So I really like the animated art style. It looks really nice. Legacy of Kain written well. Could be a good animated series. And the character dialogue models are nice to look at. Beautiful work. But boy oh boy, we have some problems. The cutscene character models are absolutely dog crap to look at. Oh my god, look guys at Ascending Kain. Such a cursed face. For Kain, Alalith, Ariel, what in the Windows 2005 CGI is this? And let's not leave out an Awakening Raziel. These models are such low budget trash. I've seen smaller developer teams with better cutscene character models than this. Who in the office said this was a good idea to release? This is so shameful. These models look like a project a middle schooler made on their spare time. Actually, I should apologize. That is disrespectful to the middle school artists. And I have to get to the in-game models now. I think this would be a mixed opinion for people. So here's my thoughts on them. I'm not a graphic extremist, but come on y'all. They could have done better than the pixel models. Was this made for the Nintendo 64? Keep in mind, Crystal Dynamics is a AAA company, so with the combined talent of Crystal Dynamics and BitBot, they couldn't have made a better in-game models. Look at Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, similar aesthetics as Ascendance, but the in-game models are very polished up for a 2D side-scroller. Castle Crashers is a game that came out back in 2008, nearly 20 years ago, and visually looks better than Ascendance. The Coma games, an indie Korean horror series. Look at how beautiful this side-scroller game looks, and the Coma series is made by a very, very small team, yet they were able to make their game look very nice and up to date. So there's no excuse for why Ascendance has pixelated in-game character models. They couldn't have used any of that money they conned fans out of from the comic to increase the game's budget. This is very lazy, honestly.
It wields a fiery blade unlike any I've seen.
A curious thing, is it not? It slinks between worlds, neither living nor truly dead. A remnant of some cursed fate, best left unspoken.
It fights with purpose.
It is driven by vengeance, Raziel. That creature was once a vampire, bound by the ancient hatred against the very order you serve.
We first encountered it near the cliffs. We gave chase, keeping our distance. And at the end of its path, we found Janos Audron.
How fitting. The creature that now hunts you led you on your most sacred kill. Fate delights in such cruel symmetry.
Perhaps fate has miscalculated. I do not fall so easily.
Your courage serves you well, but steel yourself. Your brothers lie slain, and the storm draws near. Now, give me my prize.
I cut it from the winged devil's chest myself.
You have done well, Raziel. I am pleased.
So, Vampire, here we are. You've destroyed my brethren, and now you've come for me. You'll find I'm not such easy prey. I don't want to kill you, but I will if I must. Return the heart to me, and we can end this now. So, you've come to avenge that filthy parasite and reclaim his foul heart. You're a righteous fiend, aren't you? Apparently I am. No, Vampire, this is where it ends. But you won't be leaving this room. Now, let's finish this. I'll make it mercifully quick. As you did for Janos. No, that beast had eluded us for far too long. It would have been a great shame to end him too quickly. It's ironic, really. The great Janos Audron turned out to be no challenge at all. Thanks to you. Did you hear his cowardly screams when I tore that black heart out of his carcass? Your time's up, Butcher. Justice has come.
You stand on the threshold of new awareness and purpose, child.
Where is Kain? What happened?
Kain killed you. Yet even now he fears a defeat he cannot comprehend. To provoke dread in Kain is a rare thing, Lady of Thornlatch.
What are you implying?
When Kain drove the river through you, he unwittingly gave you the very thing you have sought.
As I rend you from the womb of death. Brother in wrath, brother in thirst, I submit my flesh to your sting. Bite to the quick now, and discover the rich wellspring within me.
Yes, Lady of Thornlatch, I am foodless. But know this, I did not curse your beloved. When I found him those many centuries ago, I aided him the only way I could.
Is it more of your feeble aid you dare to offer me now?
First off, I am happy for Simon Templeman and Michael Bell. They genuinely seemed happy to voice their characters after 2 decades, so it's good to hear their voices again. I will have to say something that no one wants to hear. This is a touchy part of the video, and I'm not trashing anyone for their voices that they have. Trust me, I know how that feels, especially with the weirdos that comment under my videos about my voice. I am judging the voice acting performances for the characters in Ascendance. You can definitely hear the aging in their voices, Kain and Raziel. They both sound old and tired. This especially made notice in Raziel, who seems off because human Raziel is young with an elder voice. Same with vampire Raziel and wraith Raziel. He almost doesn't sound like Raziel anymore, which by the time of this video, Michael Bell is 87. Simon Templeman is 72. They were 23 years younger when they last voiced for a Legacy of Kain game. Our beloved voice actors are not getting any younger. They are getting older, and life is often cruel. We don't know how much longer we have with them. So do I think they did a terrible job? No. Do I think this is their least performed voice acting in Legacy of Kain? Yes. And that is not an insult. This is very much because of their age, but I'm still glad to hear from them in a game. Yano's new voice actor, Darren D. Paul, is a good voice actor. I just don't know if it suits Janos. Janos is supposed to have a softer tone voice. I think there's plenty of other characters in Legacy of Kain he would fit well voicing, like Kai, who he also voices. I think his voice is really good for Kai. Anna Gunn as Ariel sounds amazing as always. Richard Doyle as Mobius still sounds a bit like Mobius, but just like with Michael Bell and Simon Templeman, you can hear the age a lot. But funny enough, for Mobius appearances, it actually suits him pretty well. Elsie Lovelock, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Elsie Lovelock voices a Lilith, who a viewer also pointed out to me she also voices Uzi Dorman from Murder Drones. Elsie Lovelock did an excellent job voicing a Lilith. I think she should get credit and hopefully not harassed. Please do not harass her. It's not her fault they had her play a very disliked character. So yeah, some highs and some lows for the voice acting. The soundtracks I have actually nothing but good things to say about. I love the soundtracks in the game, especially the one that plays during Kain's chapters. This might actually become my top 3 favorite tracks in Legacy of Kain. It's so sad the game itself didn't live up to the tracks. Legacy of Kain needs some real bangers. It's been missing that for a while, so that's one compliment I can give Cell Dweller and Bitbot. They did kind of bring a bit of life into the soundtracks of Legacy of Kain. Even though some may be out of place, still I dig the soundtracks used in Ascendance, and the remix of Ozar Madrashim was a really nice one. Now onto the game. If there was one thing, just one thing I was kind of looking forward to in this game, it was the gameplay. Now I do love that it presents an actual challenge. As a Devil May Cry player, I welcome a challenge, even giving you a difficulty option, something Legacy of Kain has never had, though I must say, the gameplay felt underwhelming. There's little to no variety of attacks. Each character's main attack is a thrust or a high horizontal, then a secondary attack. A Lilith, Raziel have aerial attacks because of their wings. Human Raziel has fire bombs that cost 3 bars a meter to set vampires on fire. Kain uses his bat transformation for his aerial attacks. A parry system that if you parry then attack, it can one-shot kill opponents, and that's it for your attack options. Very bare bone and dry. No combo system, no projectile, no super attack, none of that. Extremely disappointing. The purple meter is used on all of your secondary abilities, which aren't much. Raziel and Lilith can glide and lift up with their wings. Kain can travel to different bat poses. Kain, Raziel, and Alalith all have an evade ability they can use to both travel to platforms and evade attacks. Seraphan Raziel has a role like his Dark Souls. This gameplay also feels unbalanced, as if it was not tested enough. The parry system feels inconsistent. I'll learn a enemy's attack pattern and I swear the timing of when the parry can trigger changes, and by the gods, can you guys please calm down on the damn bat enemies? I don't know if others feel this way, but the bat enemies really kill the fun. When you are traveling and they constantly interfere when you're fighting main enemies, the bats would not be as annoying if we had a vertical attack. So if bats are above you, you can strike them with the overhead, or under you, the vertical attack will reach them under, but since the characters only have a thrust or a high horizontal attack, you can only actually attack if they align with the same level as your thrust attack. I cannot stress this enough how much helpful a vertical attack option would be. This would make it 10 times more tolerable, or at least give us projectiles to use against flying enemies, especially being swarmed by other enemies who you have to fend off while the bats are flying around, but you don't have many options for them. This becomes extremely draining. Early as chapter 2 as Seraphan Raziel, I knew I would hate them for the rest of the game. Like, I was hoping we could at least gradually unlock combos as we progress through the story, but it's just a very bare bone gameplay, and this is supposed to be action 2D side scroller. There's 2D side scrollers from the early 2010s that are more well rounded in gameplay than Ascendance in its big 2026. So do you want to know if you should buy this game or not? Well, you can do what you want with your money, but you are watching this video to hear my 2 cents. And this game is $19.99. 20 bucks. Yeah, fuck that. This game is not worth buying for 20 bucks. I honestly regret getting the Heart of Darkness edition. I should have gotten the deluxe edition. What did we get for the Heart of Darkness exclusively? Terrible skins and a disaster game. So yeah, I highly recommend you to either not buy this game or wait for a really good sale. And I guess get it if you have a few bucks to spare. Look up the game on Steam. It already has negative reviews loaded. I went into this game already thinking just the story was going to be bad, but this entire game ended up being worse than I ever thought it would be. I have secondhand embarrassment playing and streaming this game. I feel like a terrible villain for saying this, but I hope this game does not sell well, because maybe they'll get the picture that this is a terrible direction to take the franchise. And while someone could say, oh, it's just a 2D game, okay, well, I made multiple examples of 2D games that were made way better with far better effort with smaller budgets than this, because this is an absolute disgrace to the franchise. By the way, before I forget, Raina Aldrin in an interview did confirm her and her team are not involved in this game. Now you see the difference in quality when an actual legit team is involved versus when BitBot is involved. You are better off just watching a playthrough on YouTube. This was utter garbage. I really want them to stop going this route with the series, because I really don't want to down talk Legacy of Kain. I have loved every Legacy of Kain. Blood Omen 1, Soul Reaver 1, Soul Reaver 2, Blood Omen 2, and Defiance. This is the first and only Legacy of Kain game I hate. I'll try to end on a somewhat positive note, saying a couple of things positive that I actually do like about Ascendance, aside from the soundtracks that, you know, I said I actually do like. I do like the main menu background picture with Raziel, Kain, and Alalith. I actually think this is a pretty nice main menu picture. And the Reaver Blade, I like the sound that the Reaver Blade makes. It's the same exact sound that the Reaver Blade made in Blood Omen 1, which is a really awesome sound because it makes the sword sound like such a intimidating, powerful weapon, and I really love that. So I was glad they included that into the game. So yeah. So there you go, guys. Let me know your thoughts on Ascendance, and for anyone that likes Ascendance, do not be shy. I like to hear opposing viewpoints as well. Thank you all for watching. We are in this together, building this channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. For Meridian, take care.